Hi everyone, welcome to the fourth and final lecture on literary history. And today we're going to take a look at modernism uh, from circa 1910s. Modernism as a word or a literary movement was exemplified by the poet Ezra Pound, where he said that I want to make it new. And modernism is driven by the desire to overturn the traditional ways of writing. We're trying to write in many different ways. Modernist writing is very all over the place. The earlier periods of literary history which we have looked at have similar characteristics. Like in the actual periods, like realist writing is this way, romanticist writing is this way. But in modernism, everything is not very similar to each other. And we'll see that in a little bit. Some examples of modernist authors are Henry James, Joseph Conrad, Virginia Woolf, James Joyce, and Ernest Hemingway. We're going to take a look at two of these, specifically the two latter ones, James Joyce and Ernest Hemingway. James Joyce is considered by many literary historians as one of the more extreme modernists. He was an Irishman, born and lived in Dublin, in Ireland. And he tried a very, very new and very strange style of writing called stream of consciousness, which ignores common sentence structure and tries to capture the mental flow of a person's mind. And most famous, he made this most famous in his novel Ulysses. And think of stream of consciousness as if you were writing exactly what you were thinking. Everything that you were thinking, you would write down. If you had a computer that would just read your thoughts and then write it down, that would be stream of consciousness. It's extremely difficult to read, but we're going to try and read a short excerpt from Ulysses, so you get to see what it means. So here's the excerpt. I'm going to try and read it as best I can. It's very difficult to read and it's very difficult to understand as well. So we'll see. And while you listen to this, try and see if you can picture this as being what someone thinks rather than what someone would write. It goes like this. Sardines on the shelf, almost taste them by looking. Sandwich, ham and his descendant mustard and bread there. Potted meats, what is home without plum trees? Potted meat, incomplete, what a stupid ad. Under the obituary notice they stuck it, all up a plum tree. Dignam's potted meat, cannibals with lemon and rice. White missionary too salty, like pickled pork. Except the chief consumes the part of his honor. Ought to be tough from exercise, his wife is in a row to watch the effects. Doesn't really sound like writing as we're used to it, but this is exemplified in the way that we would think. We think about one thing and then another thing comes in and then we think about the same thing again and then the third thing comes and then we see something and then we think about that and okay, that gives us a connection to that and so on. This is a whole book is written like this, called Ulysses. Just very difficult to read. Very much so. If you want to try it out, try it out. I haven't been able to read it through actually, because it is so special in the way it's written. And this is an example of modernist writing, making it new, trying new things. This is a very, very new and radical thing, just to write whatever plops into your head. But there are other ways to write in a modernist way as well. We're going to take a look at that now. The other example of writing in a modernist way is the writings of an American author called Ernest Hemingway. Mostly famous probably for his books The Old and the Sea, and also A Farewell to Arms and For Whom the Bell Tolls. His writing has later been explained through what is called the iceberg theory, where minimal plot is showed in the actual text, but a lot of it is showed underneath. Just like an iceberg just has the little bit tip of the iceberg is above the surface. Everything else we need to go below the surface to find out. And this has probably been most famously shown in his short story Hills Like White Elephants, which we're going to read as well in class. That was everything for modernism. Modernism is kind of not very similar to the other literary periods, as it is so special and strange in many ways, and authors could do pretty much what they wanted. But we're going to take a look at Hemingway and his iceberg theory. And that is pretty much everything for literary history. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you some other time. Bye.